We got this story from The Independent. Truckers for Trump are refusing to drive to New York City after $350 million fraud ruling. Boycott NYC was trending on X with more than 13,000 posts mentioning the term. This morning, Truckers was trending with 300,000 references to the boycott. And then there was another, Boycott NYC was trending substantially more than just 13,000 by the time this story came up. Here's a funny thing. So the story originates with a guy. He's a trucker. He's like, I'm on the radio and I'm hearing these people saying they're not going to accept deliveries, loads going into New York. It was like 10 guys. It turns into a definitive headline. Truckers for Trump are refusing to drive because one dude made a video saying he talked to some people on the radio. I hope it's more widespread than just that.
It could be 2 truckers. It could be 1,000.
Right.
The way this headline is
That
written.
being said, we have heard mutterings like this in the past. And there was a story about this truckers boycott of Colorado when they sentenced this guy to 110 years in prison because his brakes failed and he crashed.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
So truckers were just like, I'm not going to Colorado. I'll go to prison. That's different. It shows you the power that truckers have. I mean, the free speech convoy in Canada terrified Trudeau and his government so much they started seizing the assets of people and arresting them. If truckers really do say we're not going to go to New York City, and this is something that I predicted as a possibility like a year or two ago, it gets to the point when social order breaks down, truckers probably lean more conservative than liberal because you're working really hard all the time. Right. I think they're just, de facto. Why deal with a city like New York that's corrupt, destroying this country, when you can simply say, I'll take a load anywhere else?
Right.
So maybe this does end up having a big impact. Newsweek is reporting right now that the dude who made the original video has deleted it and said, so I don't like this Newsweek article. They say he backed down. No, he made a video where he said, I'm not an organizer. I was just telling people what people were talking about. So I do think the mutterings are happening. My bigger concern is I don't trust that people on the right are coordinated enough or ideological enough to turn down increased wages and job offers, right? So if a bunch of principled truck drivers say we won't go to New York, there's going to be some young dude. His boss is going to call him and say, hey, everyone's rejecting this New York trip. We'll pay you double. And he's going to go, all right.
Right.
And then what?
Right.
I feel like New York is already kind of collapsing in on itself. I just spent a week there for the first time in a long time. We used to live there, and
How many times did you get stabbed?
I've still got gauze underneath the sweatshirt. It's crazy. It was oddly quiet, dude.
Just real quick, sorry, don't forget, don't put a minute. When we went to New York, when we had the billboards put up,
yes,
we're like, okay, so we spent all this money on this billboard campaign. We're going to go and we're going to get photos and we're going to like celebrate. That morning, when we were there, I was like a homeless guy. Walked up to a tourist woman and just slashed her back with a machete or something.
And then when you were there New Year's Eve, that year prior,
there was a shooting.
There was a shooting
in Times Square on New Year's. Anyway, tell your story.
Well, I was in Times Square too, and my wife used to be a waitress in Times Square. I spent a lot of time there. It was so quiet, and like I was telling everybody I was in this Sirius XM show. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, it's just like that now. No one goes to work. Everyone's on Zoom. Wow. The city's just dead. Yeah. And like, this is like the conservative serious show. So they've been stuffed in a corner of a skyscraper so that their guests don't offend. Shout out to Will Cow show. But like, I was just like, the city's already collapsing. You know, how many businesses were shut down during COVID? 1,000, I think, something like that,
Dude.
I think so I'm just saying the boycott seems to already have started.
Right.
People don't want to go.
I feel like I'm wet blanketing Trump but I think what they're doing is nasty to this guy. It doesn't seem right. It feels like coordinated and political. But I think what the January 6th thing, people thought he's got my back. I'm going to go out there and protest for Trump. And then they were on the premises, they got arrested, and Trump's nowhere to be seen. So if people, are they gonna suspend their livelihoods and risk their livelihoods for this guy? I don't know.
No, that's totally unfair, Ian. I mean, Trump just came out with some golden sneakers.
Yeah, they're sold out.
If you're sold out too. So if you're in solitary confinement right now for January 6th, you probably got a big old smile on your face that Trump put up. I'm just kidding. I'm ragging. I'm being a dick. I think one of the criticisms over January 6th is that Trump should have pardoned everybody. And there's an argument that he could have declared a blanket pardon. I don't think it's that easy. And I don't think Trump knew what he was doing. I don't think Trump knew what was going on. I don't think, it's kind of weird because Trump is, the view from most people that are making these political arguments is that Trump is this grandiose, super intelligent 5D chess playing figure. I mean, like his supporters and his detractors.
Right.
I think Trump's a dude with ideas.
Yeah.
And some of those ideas were pretty good. I like what he was doing. I think he's made some personal sacrifices. I think he's also done some like not too good things periodically. I think he's done some really bad things. Commando raids in Yemen reportedly killed an 8-year-old American girl. This one is not confirmed as Abdurrahman al-Awlaki's killing by Barack Obama is. I would like to see this investigated. I don't know that Trump, what his involvement was. I don't know if it actually happened.
But he pardoned Kodak Black.
And not Julian Assange, and no clemency for Edward Snowden. And so he's not, it's the craziest thing, because there are people who really think of him as like, he should be the like demigod figure. And then there are leftists who view him as like a demi-satanic figure. And I'm like, he's just some guy. He's a smart guy. He's a successful guy. He's got good ideas. But like, why didn't he do enough for the J6ers? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Let me ask you a question though. Like, all right, so you say he didn't pardon Eric Snowden. But regardless, if you felt like
Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Sorry.
But regardless, if you felt like what Edward Snowden was doing was right or wrong, but to go somebody who is our, like, after, you know, maybe what, Asia, who was our or China, who was our, or North Korea, excuse me, who was our number 2 enemy after North Korea.
Russia was?
Yeah.
Russia might be our, well, I think China's our biggest adversary. Russia is certainly a serious enemy of the United States.
Second or third, right?
Yeah.
So for someone to go there and give them our trade secrets, is that able to have a pardon on it?
Well, I don't think Edward Snowden gave Russia U.S. secrets. He published them. He put them out publicly. I'm not a fan of him doing that.
But that's where he took asylum at.
Right. Where else could he go?
I don't know. The Bahamas? I don't
They'd probably send him right back, wrapped in a casket with a gold ribbon on it.
Yeah.
You only like that's the challenge, right? The world is it's not so black and white. I mean, I look at Vladimir Putin and I see a bad guy.
Right.
Like, he's not a good dude. He doesn't care about our interests. He cares about his country, but insofar as it like gives him control and wealth, because he's like anyone else who wants power and thinks he's the only one who can do it. And despots are not wrong in the regard that they can create order. It just means a lot of people suffer because of it.
Right.
Navalny should not have died. That being said, I'm not going to cry over, Navalny. He's Russian. He's not American. I'm concerned about what's going on with J6ers in America. But you look at the Clintons, you look at the Democratic Party, the Uniparty, the neocon establishment. I'm like, the only reason, like, if it came down to a war between Russia and the deep state, I'm on the side of the deep state simply because I live here too, and I don't want to get blown up. And the only shared interest we really have is both of us not getting blown up. Other than that, they're crackpot evil people.
Right.
They think they're smarter than you. They think they're better than you. They think you should do as you're told. They should be in charge forever. They think our founding documents don't matter. They will spit in your face at a moment's notice. And the only saving grace is they also live on a piece of land we have to share and live on. That's the only thing we have in common.
Okay.
I wonder that sometimes if the people in the deep state actually are Americans sometimes, because it's like, who are they? Corporate?
When you say deep state, what do you mean?
When I think of it, it's like people that are feeding the money into the political realm.
Okay.
That aren't in the politics.
I think of reptile people.
In all seriousness, deep state was, I believe it started as a term to reference what's called permanent government.
Okay.
And so deep state.
You can't vote them in or vote them out.
Right. They were appointed. They hold power, and they will never leave.
There's also a shadow government, according to Alex Jones. I was like, what's the difference between the deep state and the shadow government? And he was like, the shadow government is a global thing that's in there in case of nuclear war to keep the government going.
Are those families we often reference when you talk about the deep state?
No.
Okay.
They might be involved,
That might be the shadow government.
No, I don't think so.
Ian's talking about.
And I don't even think.
So who do we call the deep state?
So it's the FBI's DC bureau. It's the CIA, NSA.
Okay.
So people like Brennan, right? John Brennan, they lie to Congress. So here's what I like about Snowden, and here's what I don't like about Snowden. Snowden saw that he was a contractor for, I think it was like Booz Allen or whatever. Was it Booz Allen?
Booz Allen Hamilton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, holy crap, the U.S. is doing these illegal things, violating the Constitution. Look at this thing, X key score. They can spy on anything anyone says at any moment. They can search for whatever you're doing at any time. I got to tell someone, I got an idea. Here's what I don't like about what he did. I'm going to download everything without reading it and give it to some journalists. That is not whistleblowing.
Okay.
That is leaking. And I don't believe leakers should be granted the exact same, I guess, good grace as a whistleblower would.
Okay.
That being said, at this point, clemency, like, look, come back. It's long said and done. There were some really important things exposed by what you did. I say come back and we'll forget about it. But I think what's an important point to make is that he leaked a bunch of. There was one instance where he leaked documents that didn't get redacted. He leaked documents to Glenn Greenwald, Laura Poitras, and a few other news outlets. So I don't know who published it, but there was a piece of information, didn't get redacted, and it resulted in an emergency where they had to evacuate someone because I think it exposed their identity. That's not good. I don't think anybody got hurt, but that's the problem of leaking things. With Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning, this was specific illegal actions and specific information pertaining to illegal activities that were leaked to WikiLeaks, like the collateral murder videos where U.S. forces killed a Reuters journalist. Okay, well, like that's malfeasance. That's whistleblowing.
Right.
And so for that, I say, now as for Julian Assange has never even committed a crime. It's just ridiculous fake charges. They're just trying to destroy this guy for being a journalist.
The horrible thing of all those guys is I feel like even if Edward Snowden was pardoned, if he stepped foot on this country, it'd be like Edward Snowden did not kill himself. That would be the phrase. People would be saying that out loud.
Yeah, He there would be a letter. Like he'd write a letter saying like, Edward Snowden writes a letter saying, I'm very glad to be home. I missed my family. And I'm very grateful that I finally have the opportunity to see everyone I've loved and missed and cared about. Then underneath that nicely written letter will be big, bold letters. And that is why I took my life. And like, just, you'd be like,
I wonder about Tara Reid. She flew to Russia.
His immediate family is probably under watch all the time.
I mean, I think it's probably an understatement. I bet there's like a dude, like his family comes home and there's a guy smoking a cigarette in the corner of the room with like in a silhouette and you can just see the light from the cigarette. And then he goes, carry on. That's their whole life now, I bet.
I think he's married in Russia. His wife's in Russia with him. And they have a kid, I think now.
Those some bad chicks over there, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Russia.
I mean, like, look at the UFC fighters, Khabib.
Wild animal.
Yeah, I dated a Ukrainian girl. That's close enough to Russia.
Yeah, that's Slavic nature.
Yeah, bro.
They know what hard is.
You know how she can kill me. I can say that.
So you don't think no, you're good. You don't think with like Kodak, like Trump pardoned a bunch of people and everyone questioned why he pardoned like rappers and like what do you look like the mayor of Detroit or something?
Oh, a bunch of people. Lil Wayne, Kodak Black.
Yeah, Lil Wayne. Yeah.
But Lil Wayne, I kind of get.
You have to. The greatest rapper alive.
Yeah, Wayne deserved it.
What did he do?
Kodak,
was it a gun charge?
Gun charge
in
yeah.
New York. And Kodak Black did so much shit. Who knows?
I don't know what he was in for.
But people were pissed because they were like,
Assange.
Like, yeah.
Well, come on. I mean, Wayne was cool, but Assange would have been great.
I don't think Trump knows morality. He's been rich too long.
Yeah, you were saying that before the show, how like you can lose touch with the common.
You can lose touch. Like I'm not even like rich, bro, but like if I asked for a hamburger from or just say if I was like, hey, if you had a runner, hey man, go get me a #1 at Chick-fil-A, no pickles with a lemonade. I'd give you $40 and not expect change. Just because like I'm thinking about too much.
I've been doing that lately with, I'll just buy stuff on Amazon, get my coconut water, the juice, the food, and I don't think about like $40, $50, and I'm like, there's a lot of people that do right now.
You lose touch, man, and I think like as far as Trump, he's been rich too long, and he had a wealthy father, and I just don't think he knows morality as far as going to, like you said, a blanket pardon for everybody involved in January 6th.
All right, I'm gonna ask a question. Nobody answer. I'm gonna ask one at a time. I'm gonna ask David first. How much does a gallon of milk cost?
Probably. I mean, if you listen to the news, I say probably like $13.
$13. Ian, how much does a gallon of milk cost?
$7.99.
Shane, how much does a gallon of milk cost?
I get raw milk. It's like $7.
$7?
Yeah.
Serge, you know how much a gallon of milk costs?
I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't know.
Nobody here knows how much a gallon of milk
costs, man.
I buy it right out of the cow.
I was gonna say like I don't know $4.49 or something.
I mean, what's a gallon of gas? What's a gallon of gas here?
$3.39.
So I mean, okay. So let me take my answer back. $3.39. So I'd say a gallon of milk probably costs twice as much as a gallon of gas.
I think normal.
At Walmart, it's $2.56.
Oh, good.
Oh, what kind of milk? That's just straight up
It's
poison.
subsidized.
Whole milk.
That's just poison. I mean, we know that. That's not real milk.
It's got that, our reverse bovine growth hormone. Is that what they put in there? I don't.
The bad stuff.
We get the Fairlife milk.
What's that mean?
It's like I don't know if it's even milk.
It's not Bill Gates milk,
but
it's got the lactase enzyme, so I can drink that.
Yeah,
it allows me to digest
it's
it.
like it's a special kind of ultra filtered milk. You can store it outside of a refrigerator for like a year. It's got extra protein, less sugar. It tastes just like milk. I love it.
But it doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Once you open it, it does. But when you get them, they're ultra pasteurized, so they just come in a box. We ordered a bunch here because I'm just like, if I'm gonna exercise, I'm not gonna buy some whacked out weird formula like drink our weird drink. It's like I'll get coconut water and I'll get milk. Yeah. We do have a bunch of different kind of sports drinks. We got the Numas, those are pretty good, and we got Gator Light because electrolyte stuff. But I'm just like, I don't know, protein milk seems good. So that's what we buy that. That's expensive.
This is an example of being out of touch, man. Because I thought $7.99. I was like, let's estimate with inflation. It's a gross over exaggeration. It's not like I was like, oh, it's only $1 when it was $5. It was the other way.
It really depends on the milk you're getting, though.
Yeah,
like
so
$2 milk from Walmart is different than
how much was a gallon of milk like 10 years ago? Does anybody can look?
Like I think it was like $1.99 or $1.
And now it's what, $2.39?
$2.56. I looked up Walmart. It said $2.56.
So why hasn't milk went up that much, but everything else has?
Probably
milk,
subsidization. I think the corn industry is being subsidized. The dairy industry is probably being subsidized, and the gas oil industry is. Like the government's just probably printing and pumping money into it to make it stay cheap.
See, that's why I'm on that. Like, get your land and do your own thing.
You got big land? You think
that's
big
what it's all about?
I just bought a few acres out in Georgia, but I'm trying to. After I establish this one, the next one will be like 50 to 100 acres.
Nice. Well, hold on.
That's awesome.
Did you get chickens?
Of course I got chickens.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Aren't they great?
Yeah.
Got
to get a rooster.
Yeah,
that's
at least
right.
one.
We got a bunch.
Even though I want to, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta eat them.
A rooster? You can't eat no rooster.
Yes, you can.
They tough, right?
Yeah, tough and rubbery, but you gotta. We haven't eaten any of the roosters because we got a bunch of soft. We'll just say soft people here at Timcast. And then they're like, no, don't kill them. Oh, no. And I'm like, they are food.
I want some
and
of
there's
that,
too many of them.
I want some of that black chicken. You ever seen them black chickens?
No.
Oh, we have Silkies, and their meat is blue.
Yeah.
And then I think we do have the chickens with black meat.
What it tastes like?
I don't know.
Just start spraying one up here right now.
So I think so. Their eyes are all black. Their feathers are all black. The beak's all black. We might have something similar. I don't know if we actually have the ones that are just like.
I own
all
3
black.
Wagyu cows too.
Oh, no
nice.
way.
Yeah. Well, let me know when you're ready to do a nice little cookout.
Oh man, Wagyu cows. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So with roosters, I keep saying like, you got to pressure cook them, get them real nice and tender. But you can eat anything. Come on, look at brisket
Or a nice saltwater brine.
Oh, that'd probably be really good too.
Like a saltwater brine on a rooster.
Yeah,
Like
slow cooked.
Yeah.
In a pressure cooker.
Yeah, like cook a rooster at like 175 to 200 for like 6 hours, and then put a nice sear on him.
He knows what's going on.
He'll probably be just as living in Texas, bro. He'll probably be just as tender as a chicken.
Did you ever think about opening a restaurant?
I'm actually opening a restaurant soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What kind of restaurant?
Just barf. It's so me and my buddy Nick Franceschini, we bought a bar in Austin, and I'm gonna open up a little like late night food, but like do it in a better way to where it's like chicken fingers cooked in like rice flour, to where it's not like flour. Like I have celiac disease, which is me being gluten intolerant. So like I want to make stuff that tastes good for people who maybe can't break down flour and stuff like that in their body.
You know what I like though? I like corn breading, like corn crust.
Yeah. Almond flour.
Come to Georgia, bro. I'm gonna fry you some catfish, some corn flour.
Oh yeah, dude.
amazing.
Let me know when you're ready. Well, I mean, you do this shit every day, bro.
Yeah.
You had to just get
We
that
had,
private jet and fly down there one day.
Today what we did was when we were in Miami, Luke Rutkowski, the first the first time we went down in recent history, because I lived there for a little bit, but the first time we went down like a couple years ago for the show, he said we got to go to Nusret. That's Salt Bay. You guys know he does the salt thing with his hand.
Waste of money.
Dude, no way, man. Nusret, you got to eat there.
I ate the one in LA, maybe the one in Miami.
You didn't like it? All I know is one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever had.
What was so good about it?
It tasted good. I don't know what to tell you. But they do this thing, the Nusret special, where it's they bring out a cast iron pan, they pour melted butter into it, thinly sliced tenderloin, pan seared in the butter. Then they put toasted bread, dip it in the butter, and then put it tenderloin, and they press it and they put it on your plate. It just seems like something a poor family in Turkey would make, because that's where Nusrat comes from. But it's like the most delicious thing I've ever
I got this
tasted.
idea for a restaurant. I'm never going to open it, so I'm going to say it online. And maybe
don't say
people
it
do
online.
it.
Tell me.
I'll tell you later after the show.
Hey, but look though, not even trying to promote my friends. I think Philip Lee down in Austin at Not a Damn Chance Burger. That's the
Oh, not a damn chance burger. I know Neen Williams.
yeah,
bro. When
Philip, yeah, I think that's the best burger ever.
I've not been able to have one yet.
Okay,
But when so Neen, he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I'm like, we're not like good friends or anything, but I've known him and we have mutual friends. When he announced his story is amazing, by the way. You know his story, right?
skateboarder, right?
Pro skateboarder, but he smoked a lot, he drank a lot, and then he had this like epiphany, got super fit, super healthy. Now he's like
He's a fitness.
yeah, now he's like a fitness dude. And he came out with a spice blend called Not a Damn Chance. And now he's got his own burger place. I think he's got a couple of them.
Yeah,
but
it's probably like
It looks
5 or
like
6.
he's working with a Michelin-starred chef,
Philip,
Philip
that's
Franklin
him.
Lee.
So I know what's his name? Nadine?
Neen.
I know Neen through Philip.
Oh, cool.
So me knowing Philip, because Philip, he owns the sushi by scratch.
Oh man.
And then
we
him
got
and Neen partnered. But that's the best sushi I've ever had in my life.
we wanted to do at an event, get like 800 NADC burgers and have them given out to everybody who gets a ticket. We weren't able to pull it off. We want to do it in Austin. But what I can tell you
that's
is
a lot of burgers, bro.
well, yeah, if we're doing like 1,000 seats, everybody gets a burger.
But they're not going to be hot.
No, we're going to set something up where they can make the burgers and people can go and order and get one. But when Neen came out with the spices, I was immediately like, oh, dude, awesome. Like I ordered a bunch.
Those are great.
Dude, we put it on every,
Yeah,
like
it's
no,
good.
the
I
spicy
got a lot
chicken
of it.
spice
Yeah.
on everything. I put on grilled cheeses. I put on cheeseburgers. I put it on, you name it.
Yeah.
How did you meet up with Philip?
From working with Rogan, me being one of Rogan's openers, we would do our shows and he would be bringing us food and then they would come to the shows and they'd be like, hey, you got to come check out my sushi restaurant. And then they'd be like, oh, well, we just opened up a burger restaurant, so you got to come check out the burgers. And he fries his fries in beef tallow.
That's what's at.
The Wagyu, and his wife Margarita, who just opened up a bakery in Austin. She makes all the buns and shit, bro. It's just a well thought out, not putting some shit together burger.
I tell you, man, I used to work at a chicken shack, and I would take the lard, the beef, I think it was beef tallow, and it was lard, big block of it, and slide it into the chicken thing. They'd fry chicken in it for like 3 days, and then we'd reuse the oil for the French fries. Come out black and soggy, but when you use that fresh lard on the fries, they're golden and crispy. It's all about that lard.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.